Well, hi everybody. This is George from donzon.com, and this is going to be the first in a series of videos about JWP, the Japanese word processor, that deals with finding kanji and identifying kanji using the tool, using the JWP. This is an area where I've used JWP a whole lot. When I wrote my book on the translation of the Japanese scrolls, I used JWP quite extensively because, not being a native Japanese speaker and not really speaking Japanese all that well, it was very difficult for me to look at this old Japanese scroll and be able to find out what it actually says. So JWP helped me out quite a bit. So in the next few videos, we're going to look at how to identify kanji. Well, that's a good place to start. Let's talk about the word kanji, and let's type that in using our tool. I'm going to type in kanji, and if you remember, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and type Kanji, and then hit the space bar, and there we have. Well, if you look at the bottom, you'll see several different possibilities for the kanji, and it turns out that this first one is the correct one, and we can verify that by using the dictionary. Let me go up here and tap the dictionary button, and indeed it says Chinese characters or kanji. That is the correct one. Okay, so let's look at the kanji. So we know that this means Chinese characters. And actually, before we get too far, let me change the font so it's a little more readable. And what I did there was I hit the Options button, and I go to the tab that says Font Format. I go over to Kanji Font, uncheck the Automatic Selection button, and then I'm going to go down and I'm going to make these 48 by 48. That'll appear really well on your screen. I click that, and there are the kanji for kanji. How about that? So let's look at this, and we're going to use a couple of these buttons. And over the next few videos, I'm going to try to show you as many of these buttons in this area here, these tools, as we can. Okay. So let's select this first kanji, and let's go up to the button that we've used before, which is this one right here, which is Character Info. All right, I'm going to click on that, and what it says is, well, let's look at the right side first. It says meanings, Sino or Chinese. You might have heard the terms the Sino-Japanese Wars. That's the wars between Japan and China. So anything that has Sino before it means Chinese, and here it says China. And there's two readings of this, ka-n in the katakana, and this is hon in the other kind of reading. Okay. So that's the meaning and the readings of this kanji here, this one right here. And then let's look at this this section of the pop-up. It says here the type of this kanji is common 1. That's grade 1. And then the JIS code. Let's talk about JIS for just a second. JIS is a Japan Japanese code for characters similar to ASCII, but the problem with Japanese or Chinese characters is that there are so many of them. There are several thousand. I think over 5,000 in most dictionaries. That it's unlike the ASCII, which has, for our English language, we have 26 letters, and then a bunch of other symbols, but nowhere approaching 5,000. And so in order to classify all of the kanji, we have to have the codes for it. So that's the JIS code for this particular kanji. And then there's a shift JIS. I won't go into that. Unicode. I won't go into that. And then let's talk about strokes. Each kanji that we have is classified by the number of strokes that it has. So if you were to count the number of strokes that this particular kanji has, it says it has 13. And when you're learning kanji, one of the first things you learn is stroke order. You can't just start down here and go up here and over here. That's not the way it's done. You do it in a particular order. And in this case, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I may get this wrong, but let's do it this way. 10, 11, 12, 13. I may have gotten those last few wrong, but oh well. But anyway, but that's 13 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And if I got those wrong, I apologize. So that is a 13-stroke character. There are some characters that have 1 stroke, and there are some characters that have, well, here we see one that's 13, and there's some that even have more than that, 14, 15, 16, 17 strokes. So that stroke count is very important, an important thing to us. Okay, the next thing is called the bushu. The bushu is a term that is also called in our English as a radical. And so the radical of a kanji helps us to identify the kanji as well. So in this case, the radical is, or the bushu is number 85, which is this right here. Okay, that is the radical. Now, you probably don't see that anywhere in this kanji. If you look at it and say, oh, where is this symbol? And by the way, this symbol means water, mizu or sui. So this is the sui bushu. Well, I can't find that anywhere in here. Well, sometimes when you have radicals, they are modified or changed or abbreviated or reduced in size. And in this case, these 3 dots, 1, 2, 3, whenever you see that, that is the water radical. That's the water radical right there, those three dots. And we'll see that in several kanji. Now, it doesn't always mean that the kanji has to do with water. I'm not sure why water is part of the China radical. I'm sure there's a reason. But that's part of this radical, or part of this kanji. So that radical, or that bushu, is the water radical. Okay, and that's going to help us later on finding kanji that we can't identify. All right, there's a grade number, 3. And then there is this Nelson number. The Nelson number is very useful, especially if you have the Nelson dictionary. That's the dictionary that I use all the time to find all kinds of kanji. And you notice that there are 2 of them. And that's because there's the old Nelson dictionary and the new Nelson dictionary. So they reorganized it, the new Nelson dictionary. So they have both of those numbers there. And then there are some other numbers that deal with other ways of finding kanji, the Halpern number, the Span number, the 4-corner number, Motohashi number, and then usually in this window you'll find the pinyin, which is the Chinese pronunciation of this kanji. In this case, it's Han, which this comes from the Han dynasty, so that's Han. And also the Korean, in this case, also pronounced Han. So, so that's about enough time for this video, and we'll continue with this on the next video. See you then.